Foul spirits. They're the offspring of unclean spirits, who are the offspring of evil spirits, who are the offsprings of Gregories, who gave the Gregorian calendar to mankind. The Gregories are the offsprings of the Watchers, who are the offsprings of the Nephilims, who are the offsprings of the fallen angels, who are part of the third angelic government, who tried to overthrow God's kingdom in Revelation 12 and 4, and going back to Isaiah 14 and 12. And the angels were created. Foul spirits. They're the offspring of unclean spirits, who are the offspring of evil spirits, who are the offsprings of Gregories, who gave the Gregorian calendar to mankind. The Gregories are the offsprings of the Watchers, who are the offsprings of the Nephilims, who are the offsprings of the fallen angels, who are part of the third angelic government, who tried to overthrow God's kingdom in Revelation 12 and 4, and going back to Isaiah 14 and 12. And the angels were created by God as the angelic government. Then when people say, well, what is Hebrew? See, Hebrew, ladies and gentlemen, is actually a dialect of Aramaic. People say, well, what language did God speak, Bishop, in Genesis 1? I'm going to say something that's radical. God did not speak Hebrew, neither did God speak Aramaic. Why? Because God is the language. And the only reason why we have 9,909 languages, some say more, some say less. And the reason why we have over 14,000 dialects, some say more, some say less. And the reason why we have over 33,500 accents, some say more, some say less, because of our fallen state. Christ spoke Aramaic, the mother tongue of the offspring dialect called Hebrew, which means he rules, and there's over 300 dialects of Hebrew. Another topic for another day. Amalek, Recep, R-E-Z.
But it's really weird to think, but English, right? Like we speak English, that's all we know. Our thoughts are our thoughts are English, feel me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound crazy, but like if you really deep it, listen, that's all we know. That's what our consciousness is. English. Now, this is true. This is a real scientific study.
Yeah.
That if you learn Latin, or I think Italian because it's close to Latin, and you think in it, your brain, it moves on a different frequency than everybody else, and you're actually considered smarter.
What?
Yeah.
So if you know Latin, you're smarter.
Yeah, it's because your brain chemistry, it works differently. And that's just the way you think. That's because if you think about we understand ourselves in English. Now, here's the craziest part. Ready?
Yeah.
What if
We just randomly start speaking?
no English? Oh, this sounds fucking crazy though. I'm gonna sound like a nut.
When you do this, I already know
I'm gonna sound like a nut. But if you think
Yeah.
about it, like, whose choice was it to make it English?
Whose choice? I don't know.
Back that, right?
Yeah,
like,
no,
think
we
about
don't
that
know.
shit. Think about that. Like, who decided? Okay, we're all speaking English,
Yeah, I actually don't know.
and it became like the language. I guess historically it was because of the United Kingdom, and then it transferred over because of all the colonization, right?
Yeah.
But this is the way I think it. What if speaking in English holds us back with our mind?
What do you mean?
I know it sounds weird to say. It sounds fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But think about it like this, right? Because you know how they say if you're really deep in prayer, you speak in tongues.
Oh yeah, Latin.
And then when you do that, you're on what? You're on a higher frequency.
Yeah,
Feel
yeah.
me? Now, what if speaking and understanding everything in English is holding us back spiritually?
Spiritually. Okay, so we can't go to like the next dimension type shit.
Not like that too, but even like, what if we can't even comprehend things, or we can't even it's so hard to like. It's so
I
hard
know.
to explain
I'm
this
trying to get
shit.
what you're saying.
This is really like a high type of thought. But I wasn't high, by the way. I'm just like this. But deadass, because if you think about it, every single thing we speak in English. I communicate to you in English. My thoughts every day. Oh, I'm gonna eat today. Oh, I said it in English. But what if, for example, aliens?
Yeah.
They definitely don't speak English.
100, yeah. Or
And
maybe they do.
If we consider aliens to be like a higher frequency being,
They talk in another.
they would talk in a different language, right? So what if it's the language that holds us back? Because we know manifestation is real.
Yeah.
We know that saying words of affirmation changes our body chemistry, changes even our life.
Okay.
So what if it's that powerful that just the language itself is holding us back? What if we could have fucking superpowers and shit?
I don't know,
if we
but-
spoke in a different language in our head.
I don't know about that.
Because it's like the software. No, okay, hear me out like this. Like this is a great example. So it's like the software. I hope
Yeah.
I don't sound crazy.
No, okay, go.
But like, for example, you get a Windows computer. The operating system is Windows.
Yeah.
Is Windows operating system. You get a Mac. It's Mac OS, right? What if the operating system? Because we're operating on English right now.
Yeah.
So
it's
what if?
not gonna change? No, look.
You think so?
Yeah, because you brought up a good point. Say we go on that little analogy of, oh, this is Windows.
Yeah.
You know how like you're on Amazon and you're like switch the language. It's the same operating system. It's just a different language. You know what I mean? Nothing changes.
I don't know. Because
Just the language
we can't. It's hard to say. Like we can't actually say.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We can't actually say it. But what I'm thinking is, theoretically, for me, what if it was purposely made that we spoke English so that it holds back the rest of
back.
society, and then the people that don't actually use it,
Yeah.
maybe they use it to communicate to everybody else, but they use a different language internally. They're on some next frequency.
That's like, so like you're saying English is like the level 1 boss. I mean the level 1 default player. And then like Latin is like the level 100 boss.
Okay, now this is where I had the panic attack. You ready?
Okay, yeah. I was like, where did the panic?
This is where I had the panic attack.
Yeah.
What if that's what possessed you?
What? Possessed what? Like
Wait.
when we speak Latin?
No, when we're speak. So when you speak in tongues, what
Yeah,
possesses
yeah.
what possesses you? The Holy Spirit. So when we don't speak it, what is possessing us? English. So what is English? No, back that though. Like I think I'm onto something. I just
Yeah.
want to know if anybody else thinks like
so
that.
so let me break it down. You're in the shower and you're like, why do we speak English?
Yeah, no, for real. That was dead ass like that. I swear to God that.
No.
But obviously the whole world doesn't speak English. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
stupid.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just thinking like, damn, like we really have majority of the world in our setting, and that's our way of life. We see it all in English.
Yeah, maybe. I
And
don't
that's
know.
kind of like the standard.
because it's not just only us. Like so English, somebody who's born in China, they're raised on Chinese. Like that's their default. Would you say that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay, so it's all.
I guess the same.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
this guy's deep in it.
No, but it was like a weird thought.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I kind of got where you're going.
because it was
but
like the speaking in tongues type of thing is like,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm not speaking in that and I'm speaking this currently, what is possessing me at this moment?
yeah,
then?
okay, yeah. This guy brought it back to the ancestors and shit like that. He's
Yeah,
like,
man.
yo, so if they don't speak English, then we're not smart. Like what? Nah, I think we're the same.
I don't know. It's just like interesting thought. I don't even know if I was getting anywhere with that
Yeah,
shit.
I know. This guy
let,
is
let
just-
me know because it was dead ass giving me a panic attack. I'm like, holy shit, what is life?
Alive, man.
Because that's all we know.
Yeah, we
low
do.
key. That's all we know.
Yeah.
And if all we know is like, let's say I consume only content in English. There's so much more content in the world, so much more knowledge, so much more like lessons and shit
100,
that
yeah.
hasn't been translated. How much am I really missing out on?
Now imagine we not even like languages. Like imagine we can speak squirrel. like
no,
or
for real. I know
gorilla.
that sounds stupid, but
Yeah.
like it's actually fact.
That's I think that's the I would put that over aliens. Actually no, never
No,
mind.
that's like the same. That's the same.
That is the same.
That's
That
the same
is the
shit. Because it's
Yeah,
it's just shit we can't understand. We can't comprehend.
Uh-huh.
But if we can comprehend like if we can comprehend like ants, there's definitely some shit we can learn.
I know.
Even if it sounds like so not, I guess like, I don't know, relevant.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something.
That you know that that toad thing that we were talking about too, the psychedelic. I think one person was like, "Oh, I went out of my body and I started speaking to the animals, and I didn't, and like I realized there was an earth, and like he like almost died and shit."
Oh, shit.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I was talking to every animal and like shit like that." But that's like the next dimension that he went to. But you can only get that through, you know, animals, toxic shit, you know.
I think what it is like you get like a step inside, and then you can kind of move around and navigate your way through and communicate that way.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily there. I think the afterlife or whatever happens after we die that's when it's gonna really like, yo, the blinds are off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna see everything. Like that's
Really?
exactly what we're gonna see, frequencies and like spiritual things happening.
Has your thoughts on afterlife changed? Like, cause I remember before you're like, "Oh, you're just gonna go to heaven and stuff."
Yeah.
But do you really think now like that's different and stuff like that? Like,
Nah, I still believe in heaven.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
I still 100% believe in heaven. I don't think everybody's gonna go.
yeah, that's just crazy. Do you think so?
I don't think everybody's gonna go. Like I don't think everybody's.
I don't know, cause I feel like even you take like a person that done super bad, I feel like God is always gonna be forgiving. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a revengeful God that we look up to, right?
I don't know, bro.
Which is crazy because who says you're not God? So it's like, who says that killer can't go to heaven
No, but it says in like the book.
in the book?
Yeah, it says in the Bible.
But isn't it always forgiven though? So I'm like,
Nah, everything's. There's one sin that's not forgiven. You know what that is, right?
no.
Blasphemy against the Holy
Oh
Spirit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Oh,
the one
the-
unforgivable sin.
Yeah, then the baby's not going to heaven. You